Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a match between Terror and P7 Gab here on Outsider. Top side of the map, we have the green Zerg player, it is Terror. And in the bottom side of the map, it is the blue Protoss player, P7 Gab. Now, it took me a while to figure out who this was because it said Brain Magic. I searched Brain Magic and Brood War, which led me to a 2009 Team Liquid forum post where they were trying to decipher Smurf names, and apparently Brain Magic is a Smurf for Wuck, and Wuck is another name for P7 Gab. So I hope I followed that train correctly because I don't know. This was sent to me by, oh, hang on a second. Is it Lazaros? Did Lazaros send me this one, or was it Erasmus? You guys, I have too many people, too many amazing people sending me replays. Not too many, but, you know, too many to keep track of anyway. Where is your email? I want to say it was a guy who sent it to me this week. Anyway, it's Terror, and he said, I saw you cast a game recently, and you really loved how Terror played Zerg, and you wanted to see more of him. So I found a bunch of his replays. I put them together for you, and here, I love you. And I was like, ah, I love you too. This is Lazaros. It was Lazaros. Okay, I just haven't heard from Lazaros in a while. He's the guy responsible for the Gosu Gamers replay pack, which I'm sure you're familiar with if you've been on my channel at all. I label the games Gosu if they're from that pack. Every one of the games in that pack is ridiculous on some level. That hour and 7-minute long game where the Protoss got his own Zerg army and the map was mined out, that was Lazaros, okay? So give a big thanks to Lazaros. He's awesome. He's the best guy. And he hooked me up with some Terror replays here, which I am stoked about. This was a pool first, by the way, but it was scouted, of course, by P7 here, who went for the Forge, obviously, and then just can make a gateway, or I guess a cannon first, and then, oh, another cannon. He is worried about Zerglings. There are 6 on the way, in fairness. Overlord comes in to see what we're dealing with and says, can I get around this? Do you want to expand or throw up a gateway? I mean, if I was P7, I would throw up a gateway. I'd be so worried about these Lings getting through and killing me. But you know what? I think the timing works out. These cannons are going to finish. They're going to get some early shots and then some late shots. And if the Lings go for a run-by, I don't know if any of them are making it through. So let's see. Let's see what we get. He is expanding as well. We've had a couple games on Outsider recently, haven't we? It's kind of been interesting, the number of games we've seen on Outsider, and the Lings are turned back. Okay, so at the very least, they forced 2 cannons out of the Protoss player and delayed the expansion, which is what you want to do in this situation. Is he? Man, quick macro hatch. Again, I like Terror a lot. Now, this Smurf name I can't find anywhere, but I trust Lazaros that this is Terror, that he's the Zerg player we've been looking for. There are actually some replays in this pack where Terror plays Protoss against some pretty good Zerg opponents, so I'm very interested in trying that out, too. I like seeing players go off race, and I think you probably do, too. So look for those. Look for Terror P in the title. We'll see what that does for us. Somebody actually commented the other day, Falcon, I love your casts, but your titles are really boring. And they're not clickbaity at all. They're kind of make it hard for me to find replays or casts of yours in the past, because it's always so straightforward. If I don't remember the player names, I can't find them. So what I did last week at that one, that one Gosu replay was just title it But This Game, though, which is what I actually titled it a month ago when I originally cast it and put it on patreon.com/FalconPaladin for those who are subscribed to me there for at least $1 a month. Anyway, the point is that, I don't know, I mean, it got some attention. It probably has about 6,000 views now, which is nice, but it's not, I mean, it didn't help immensely to do a clickbaity title there, so I don't know. I don't know what you guys respond to. I imagine if I was better at clickbait, it would work, because, I don't know. Clickbait's a thing because it's a thing. It doesn't exist because it sucks. It's obviously effective on some level, but if you do it too much, you drive away too much of your audience. But how much is that? I don't know, man. These are all questions people need to ask if they're going to start their own YouTube channel. Now, the trick here for our friend Lazaros, Terror, is that he hasn't expanded. He's sitting around 2 bases. He only has 1 gas. This really has just got to be in preparation for Corsairs, which there's a Stargate on the way, so that makes perfect sense. But where's the third? Again, this is a stupid map for third bases for Zerg. They like to have third bases with gas, but this is your best bet, and there's no gas. This is your best... that's another best bet, and I can't remember if there's gas there or not. Please hold. There is no gas there. I didn't think so. Alright. So yeah, there's really not a great place to go unless you can mineral walk through those minerals. There is like a double gas on the other side of the wall, so maybe he's going to do that. Let's see if that's what he does up here. He is bringing 2 drones over. Is he going to try to squish through? Oh, he's doing the tricks. Yeah, he does the tricks to get over. I knew Terror was smart. I knew he was going to do something like this. I felt it in my bones. He's like, yeah, my third base is going to have nothing but gas. Take that, Protoss guys. All right, so how are we dealing with the... There we go. Spire's on the way. With the Eminent Corsair production, who's already out. Well, you make a Spire and you get some Scourge and you call it a day. Is how Terror has decided to accomplish it now at times. You can go for Hydralisks, but it's fine. Oh, he's taking another base here too. I like Terror. I'm so excited to have a whole pack of Terror replays to cast. I am beyond stoked. I'm excited to see him do some good things here against P7, who is a former StarCraft pro gamer who's Korean, who played Protoss for KT Rolster. And he actually plays for Scythe Esports right now in StarCraft 2. So this is an older replay, obviously, if he's a current StarCraft 2 player. But I'm stoked for it anyway. This is, I mean, I cast a lot of old replays. Who are we kidding? I've cast, I think, 1 replay that was officially played in 2019. Although, and that was fairly recently. That was Flash versus the Belgian Zerg player, Eon Zerg. That's who it was. So that was definitely 2019, which is great. Some Zealots are coming up trying to get something done. But I do have a replay pack labeled Light 2019. So I've cast some replays from that before. But I mean, the meta hasn't changed enough for it to be appreciably different between like a Light 2012 replay pack. You know what I mean? Hey, the Zealots have speed. They're just kind of walking past your Sunkens, though. They're getting in your main, and your mutas are out, but mutas take a surprisingly long time to kill Zealots because they have that armor and they have a lot of HP and shields. But you know what? I think that went pretty well. I did not hear a single drone death there when, if that would have happened to me, all of my drones would have been dead. Every single one. I don't know how. Sometimes the game is tricky that way. Zealot scouting around, sees this base, but you know what he doesn't know about is this one. I like that hatch. I don't think Terra lost a single drone there. I really don't. At least not up here. Maybe down towards the natural base he did. But I think those were all Lings too. What a hold, man. That was a pretty darn scary attack, but Terror making it look easy. Archon's in production to deal with the Mutalisks. Obviously, maybe more... No, I was going to say more Corsairs, but no. Production tab says not interested in more Corsairs. We have exactly... Did we lose a Corsair to the Scourge already? Is that the problem here? P7? That might be the problem. He's making another one, though, in this here Stargate, as it's all flashy. So, yeah, at least one, but maybe, I don't know. Is the Scourge count? Look at this vision. Got an Overlord down here, Ling up there, drone over, I mean, probably going to throw it on a hatch there if I had to guess. I like what Terror is doing. I like it a lot. Both players APMs, enough to where this is a fairly even match, I gotta say, but this is fantastic from Terror. Look at this. He's working off of 4 Best Being Geysers in 8 minutes. That's real good. That's really good. Plus, he's got 3 mineral patches, or 3 mineral lines to work with, too. I'm inspired. This is the best I've seen a Zerg player play on this map recently, I gotta say, or perhaps ever, honestly. I did see Day9 take on Artosis once. That was a lot of fun. If you want to link to any of these replays I'm talking about, let me know. I can put them in the comments. I can directly put them there. And if you can't find a replay and you're like, it had this and this and this in it, let me know. I probably remember. I do a better job, I think, remembering every replay I've ever cast than remembering a lot of things in my life, including sometimes my kids' birthdays. Actually casting this on my oldest's birthday. He turned 12 today, you guys. Ugh, that's so scary. I have a 12-year-old. I basically have a teenager. Although I think I've said this on the casts before on the channel. He's been a teenager since the day he was born. He's always had a problem with authority and attitude, and I love him a lot, but he's just such an independent kid. Anyway, we're moving on in with the Archons, Yeah, these Sunkens are doing all right. They're holding their own here. The Mutas are trying to engage with the Archons, but that is such a bad idea. That Archon has 3 kills already. The split is real, but he's down. Now we can deal with the Zealots a little bit more efficiently, but maybe not as much as you'd want to. +1 attack is done for these ground units. +1 armor for the Mutas is really nice. Mutas forced to fight against Dragoons. Not something they really want to do. And P7 is getting some stuff done with his attack. With these attacks today, it's been really fantastic stuff. Drones forced to fight for their own lives versus these Zealots. Getting some extra shots off on that 4th hatchery too. And yeah, this gas base has been taken on the right side while this has been going on. Trying to sneak a base on the left side. This feels very ninja out of P7 to me. This is a spawning location, by the way. It's a 3-player map. This is a spawning location up north, then down here, and then to the left. 3-player maps are very strange that way, but I like it when I cast something that's not on Circuit Breakers or Fighting Spirit. I think you guys appreciate it to see different maps. Although Heartbreak Ridge is getting up there, and just this map is always on Falcon's channel. And that's generally just because they're always played on those maps, man. They're favorite maps for players for a reason. It's because they're good. I don't know where you guys are going exactly. Oh, are you stuck? You intend to... I don't know where... their pathing's all wonky, you guys. What is happening right now? P7 has a pretty big worker lead. Oh, never mind. I read that wrong. Terror's actually up in workers at 11 minutes, which is a good sign for him. The Mutaflock is abjectly terrifying. There are at least 12 here. I can't select any more than that. And if there's not any Storm and there are not any Archons or Corsairs here... Yeah, there we go. Corsair shows up, and the Mutas decide it's time to get out, losing 2 Mutas during that attack to all of the cannons and the Corsair attack at the end there. Mutas maybe going to try to catch some of these straggling units. As this follow-up, it's the 3rd major attack on this natural base thus far in this game. I gotta say, P7 has done a really, really good job with this. Just keeping the pressure up on Terror, making him respond, thinning down his drone count from time to time, making sure his sunken colony count isn't super high either. And again, the upgrades. The +2 attack is done now. The timing seems to have worked out here for P7. He's working on +3. What the? This is a new bug. Oh, I see. It's trying to tell me what it is, but it can't because of the bugness. Rad. I like finding new bugs. It's actually my job. I do software testing for a company close to my house. Anyway, pretty even on worker count and army right now, which is not good for Protoss. He wants to be up. Obviously, Zerg player also wants to be up at about 12 minutes is when you see a Zerg player who's going to win start to get up there in supply. And he's getting there, except that he's sacking a ton of Mutalisks over on this base. And you know what? I think it's working out for them. They have +2 armor. They can take a little bit more damage than your average Mutalist can. You know what? Corsairs are dealing with this, and the ground army is going for the natural base again. Drones pulled off the line to try to handle this. A lot of Mutalisks died right there, too. But yeah, +2 Dragoons are not bad. +2 Dragoons are not a bad unit. Yeah, but this ninja base is not happening. So this is a big problem for P7. I don't know. You can't save it at this stage. I really don't think so. There's a Corsair. Actually, the other group is... They're alive, but they're going the wrong direction to try to save this Nexus. And there's no saving it anyway. It's toast by this point. So, unfortunately for P7, he's been playing well, but he's on 2 bases at 14 minutes against a all the bases on Earth Zerg player who is happily mining a ton of gas and happily mining a ton of minerals, and happily working on evolution chambers and flyer attack for his Mutalisks. Why not? I haven't seen Mutalisks be this effective in a ZVP ever. I'm going to say ever at this point. I don't know if that's accurate. I don't rightly care. But yeah, at this stage, we're looking at the most effective Muta play versus a Protoss player of all time. Now, how much Storm do you have? How many Corsairs and Archons do you have? These are all things that are important. Splash damage versus Mutalisks is a big deal. This is so many Mutalisks, though. Okay, but the splash is a problem. A lot of these mutas are injured, but there are so many of them. Okay, all right. This is what I'm talking about. He came in with an innumerable host of mutalisks, and he's leaving with 8 that are really injured. That was not a good attack from Terror at all. If you're going to go all the mutalisks in the world, you can't sit there and let 3 Corsairs shoot at you for that long. It's not going to happen. It's a bad idea. All right, ground attack again. He's trying to reestablish that sneaky base for his third. Once again on the left side is P7. Keep wanting to call him IP7 for some reason. Like, is it an IPv6 thing? I don't know, man. Sometimes computers confuse things in my brain. It's another hatchery coming up because why not at this stage? Just continue to expand at your normal expansion timings. And if you haven't lost anything yet, you're good. See, remember how the mutas were enough to handle cannons before? Not so much. A lot of them are very bruised. We have a nice rainbow collection of varying stages of health on this mutaflock right now. +3's attack on the ground for IP. He is... I called him again. For P7, oh gosh, no! No! Oh, these mutas. We need a tech switch. We need to get out of Mutalisk real fast and maybe into like... Mass Zergling would be cool against all these Dragoons and like 2 Archons. I think it might work actually. How are the Ling upgrades? Let's find out. 0s across the board. He's working on 1-1. He's working on 1-1 for his Lings. He's getting a Queen's Nest. So maybe for a Hive. But this attack was massive. Right? If this attack doesn't happen, he is happily sitting on like 20, 30 Mutalisks. And he could probably handle this. Again, assuming he doesn't come in at one direction against the Corsairs. But if you can catch this army without the Corsairs, as they're not always around, maybe Magic Box the Archons a little bit, you're going to have a better time with it. So Sneaky Ninja is up pretty much by the saving grace of that attack from Terror. Dead Probe is a problem. It is 66 to 39 workers right now, which is bad for the Protoss. He cannot let Terror do this to him, where he just out-economies him, out-bodies him that way. And out-macros him for this long at this stage of the game. If the Corsairs aren't here, this main base is effectively dead. There's one okay, there are 2 Corsairs. And chase me. No, bring the Scourge. Dude, the Scourge at the very least I think could chase away those Corsairs. Wow. He just got chased away by 2 Corsairs when he had like 12 Scourge. I think he could have handled it, is what I'm trying to say here, especially with the upgrades they have. It's not often that Scourge have +2 Carapace, but they have it today. This flight of Valkyries is brought to you by the BBC. I need David Attenborough narrating this. The Mutalisk can fly up to 13 kilometers a day in search of prey. They are protected by the Scourge, who will willingly sacrifice their own lives in order to save the Mutalisks from harm. Why the Scourge are willing to do this, nobody knows. They're not quite sure what the advantages are, what the symbiotic relationship is. But we see it in nature regardless. This has been David Attenborough with Mutalisks on the Wind. I'd watch a nature documentary about Zerg units. Maybe I should make it happen. That'd be a lot of fun. Alright, so we're in... Is that Adrenal? These... Oh my gosh, he's had slow lings this whole game. I never noticed that. A Defiler Mound at 19 minutes. A Greater Spire at 19 minutes. Going for... Is that Pneumatized Carapace or is that Speed? I think that's Speed for Overlords at 19 minutes. Yeah, there have been things that Terror has been neglecting, but he's catching all of them now. Once again, I don't think attacking into 1,000,000 Sunkens is how you need to do this. You need to start attacking up this way. I just don't know he knows this base exists is the problem. Well, he got a hatch. That's a victory. Victory. But it's 179 to 140 supply in favor of the Zerg here. And again, the Corsairs go Scourge. Okay, I think maybe they got a hit there. I don't know. The Mutalisks, though. They're just not having a good time. These are +1 Corsairs. They don't have the greatest upgrades of all time, but they're not doing too poorly. Is that +1 air armor? I'm pretty sure that's +1 air armor for the Corsairs again. Definitely a non-standard PvZ. Gotta tell you what, who makes this many Mutalisks at 20 minutes, and it is Guardians. All right, man. Let's break the Guardian curse. I can't recall casting a game where Zerg went Guardians and won. With the exception of that, but this game where both players went Guardians in a PvZ, which was awesome. You ever seen that before? Both players in a PvZ going Guardians? It was fun. You should watch it if you haven't. Oh, it's Devourers. I made some assumptions, you guys. Is this me? This was my like pet strategy playing StarCraft when I was like 16. It was Mutalisks, Devourers, Guardians, a bunch of Queens with Spawn Broodling to pick off High Templar, and that was it. You had the game won at that point. I hadn't really considered Mass Corsair as a response to this, to be honest. How would Mass Corsair do here? What is he doing? You can't just get rid of all of your mutas. I guess that's what the Scourge are for. Scourge are definitely part of my plan. This is interesting. This could go really, really well for Terror, or it could go extremely poorly for him and he just loses the game. Oh, he's got some Defilers, though. That changes everything. A Plague here. A Dark Swarm there. Plague is researching by the by. A bit of some Plague. Ooh. That is the most Devourers I have seen. Maybe ever in... Okay, well, that poor shuttle. So Devourer DPS is actually hot garbage. They attack so slowly, they can actually get killed by an Arbiter in a one-on-one battle, which is hilarious. But the big deal is the debuff. The Corrosive Acid here. When it hits enemy units, it sprays the purple jam on them, the purple jelly. And it actually decreases their armor and their attack. So the debuff aspect is really nice, but I don't know that there are enough Corsairs here to merit all of the Devourers in the known world. You know what? Maybe. That is a full batch of 12 Corsairs with 111. Maybe it is. Oh gosh, but the remember what I said about the Guardians? Okay, a Devourer chased those guys away. What a weird match this is. Okay, so he did the debuff. He got the Acid Spores here. 1. It stacks up to, I want to say it's 9. Kindness Plating on the way for Terror. He's getting all of the toys right now. Is this a huge, scary Ling drop with a Hydralisk for some reason? Sure. Sure it is. Is there even a Defiler in this group? The Lings have adrenal glands? Attack something. Oh yeah, they do. Okay. These High Templar need a storm, like, now. There we go. One storm. Two storm. What is... I don't even... What is happening right now? That happened. I mean, a lot of Protoss stuff is dead down here in the main base too, in fairness. Storm, the Scourge are trying to get hits off. Yeah, you know what? I kind of feel like that went okay for P7, but he's down 188 to 124 supply because there are 12 Ultralisks in production right now, and plus P7 lost his main base, which is a lot of his production. He has snuck a couple bases out. He needs to build a bunch more gateways, though, if he's going to come back in this game. His production is 2 gateways. He's got 1 here and 1 here. I think that... Oh, well, these ones, but they're unpowered. That's bad news. Did he actually escape with some units in this? No. These are scouting overlords, is what they are. So here come the Ultralisks. They do manage to have 6 armor and +2 attack, despite having their upgrades neglected for as long as they have. 11 kill Archon and a 16 kill Archon have met their match against all these Ultralisks. They were already injured from a previous battle, in fairness. So they're going to make a run for it here. Dark Swarm is up. The Archon splash damage still has an effect in there. Man, I don't know what to thumbnail here. Is it the 18 Ultralisks or is it the Devourers and the Guardians? Devourers are seen so rarely on the channel. I kind of feel like it's got to be the Devourers, right? Anyway, I don't even know if you need Dark Swarm here, but we'll do it anyway. Make these Ultralisks even more unkillable here against these cannons, which again do not benefit from attack upgrades, and therefore get worse and worse as the game goes on and everything else gets upgraded. So Nex is down. So Archon's fighting. Dark Swarm is up. A lot of Archons versus a lot of Ultralisks. This is kind of a good thumbnail too, though, huh? Archon's just blah, blah, blahing. The problem is, P7 has the right idea here, but he's down 178 to 112 supply. He can produce like 3 Zealots at a time. Has he repowered these gateways yet? No, he has expanded here, though. There you go. Hold the Lings back. There we go. Getting them in there. Getting a surround on the Archons. The Ultralisks attacking in there too. Dark Swarm is up, helping mitigate as much damage as you can. And it's 182 to 87 supply. I think Terror has done it against the former KT Rolster player. At least it sure looks like he has. This base is totally dead. Do you have any Dark Swarms? There is. Are there High Templar here? Oh. You know how you defend against Zerg on your expansions. Is he have High Templar and cannons, but nope. Good game. Rematch. Okay, says Terror. Let's go. Says P7, and Terror gets the win in 26 minutes and 41 seconds. That was a fun match. I'm going to officially label that a fun match. It was not an epic match, but it was tons of great stuff anyway. The Devourers, the Guardians, the Storm, the Ultralisks. Amazing. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Oh, I know I enjoyed casting it, that's for sure. Anytime I get units that are rarely seen on the channel, I just get a little bit more amped, a little bit happier. And that's where we are right now. So good stuff, man. Good stuff. Lings and Ulcers down here. I guess that was part of it, but really it was just the numbers. It was just the numbers game. No Dark Swarm up here either. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, man. A couple of those early attacks are pretty damaging out of P7. I liked what he was doing. I liked him going for the Corsairs against the Mutas, maybe a little bit too late. Maybe he was like, who goes mass Muta against Protoss anymore? And the answer was Terror will, and he'll win with it too. I mean, maybe not with the Mutas, because the Mutas were all dead at the end of the game. Well, okay, he turned a bunch of them into Guardians and Devourers, which, in fairness, how many of those are left over at the end of the game? I don't think there are any of those, actually. I think technically P7 won the battle up here against all those Guardians and Devourers, but it didn't matter because there was another army coming because, again, Terror had all of the economy in the known world. Oh, he's got some Guardians over here. Never mind. We're good. Everything's fine. The Guardians are alive. They survived. Woohoo! The curse is broken. All right, well, I got to get to bed. So that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.